So, what exactly is a carboxylic acid? Well, first of all, you need to understand that organic chemistry is actually a branch of chemistry that's based around the element, mainly carbon and hydrogen. Carbon is actually one of the most abundant elements. The word abundant means it occurs the most in the world. And a carboxylic acid is actually a type of functional group is actually a type of functional is actually a type of functional group that is a part of an organic molecule. So let me just show you first of all what a carboxylic acid actually looks like. So a carboxylic acid looks like this. So you've got a carbon, you've got a double bond, you've got an O, and also you've got an oxygen and you've got a hydrogen. So this whole thing is actually a carboxylic acid. One of the exam questions is actually circle the functional group of a carboxylic acid. So if you had something like, so let's just say ethanoic acid. So ethanoic acid looks something like this. And the reason why this is ethanoic acid is because it has two carbons inside it. So if they ask you to circle the functional group, you would actually have to circle the full thing, which is here. Another property of the carboxylic acid is that the carboxylic acid actually ends in anoic acid. So for example, if you got the two carbons here, so the two carbons, the prefix will be eth for the fact that it's two carbons. And if you've got two carbons and the anoic acid, that's the reason why the name of this particular acid is ethanoic acid. One of the main things that you would need to know is actually how to make a carboxylic acid. A carboxylic acid is actually made by an oxidation reaction. And when you say an oxidation reaction is actually shown by this sign here. This sign here, which is an O in a square bracket, is actually not O2, is actually not O2, no, it's actually not O2, but it's actually an oxidizing agent, which is actually something that helps the particular compound become oxidized. And the oxidizing agent that you need to know is actually potassium dichromate, which is K2Cr2O7. And generally, what we need to do here is we need to oxidize an alcohol. And if you oxidize an alcohol, you can then make a carboxylic acid from that. So let me give you an example. So here, if you've got ethanol, which is here. This is an alcohol, and the reason why it's an alcohol is because of the OH functional group, and you can see the ending anol for the alcohol, right? So this is actually ethanol, ethanol, and again the anol is the ending for the alcohol, and you need to do plus an oxidizing agent like that, and then once you've done that, you write your arrow. You can write your potassium dichromate at the top, and then you can draw your final compound, which is going to be the ethanoic acid. In this reaction, you also produce water as a byproduct always. So that's the reason why you would also put plus H2O there like so.